Hello, this is a very new thing doing YouTube videos for me. This is one of the first ones I'm doing, and I wanted to kick it off with a bang. I wanted to kick it off with a video addressing something that I get all the time, something I get through on DMs, emails, verbally. It just comes through all the time, and that is why interior design fees cost what they do and what you as a homeowner are actually paying for. Now, the first line I always get is, I nearly fell off my chair when I saw the design fee. And honestly, I can understand it because if you've never renovated before, it's really hard to understand why one designer might charge $3,000, another charges $15,000, and then another one charges $30,000 or more for that matter. And it can feel like you're paying a lot of money for some drawings, a few pieces of paper, and a few material selections, right? But here's what most homeowners, here's what you as a homeowner don't realize. The drawings, the physical drawings, are often the smallest part of any design job. What you're really paying for is my thinking, my planning, my problem solving skills, and decision making that happens before anything gets built. That's what you're really paying for. And today I want to explain exactly what design fees cover, why they vary so much, and how to know whether you're comparing apples with apples when you're getting quotes. So this video is going to be about 10 minutes long. You can speed it up to get through it quicker, but I think this is a really important topic to cover because it comes up in every conversation. So the biggest mistake that you as a homeowner make is most people compare design fees the same way you would compare a simple paint quote, for example. You look at the bottom number. But ultimately, design isn't a product, it is a service, and not all services are the same. Let me give you an example. One homeowner might want help choosing paint colours, flooring and furniture. Another homeowner might be renovating their entire home, so they need, a designed kitchens, 3 bathrooms planned, custom joinery throughout, appliances selected, lighting layouts, PowerPoint locations and plannings, tile selections, tapware selections, flooring selections, storage planning, on-site builder coordination, site visits. They're just to name a few. Now, those aren't even remotely in the same service category. Yet many homeowners, expect design fees to be similar. And I think that's where the confusion starts. So what most homeowners think they're paying for when they hire a designer is drawings, mood boards, finishes, selections, a few meetings here and there. That's generally the gist of it. That's the key things that you think you're paying for when you engage a designer. But here's what you're actually paying for. And this is so much harder to see. And this is where the confusion also comes in. So you're actually paying for someone to spot the problems before they're built, before they even exist. Someone to identify issues you don't even know exist yet. Someone to make hundreds of decisions that all need to work together. Someone to create a home that functions properly years after your renovation is finished. Because the truth is that absolutely anyone can choose a beautiful tap. The challenge is making thousands of decisions work together. That is the challenge. Now, a designer isn't just selecting products. We're also considering how they affect your family lives. How do they affect your everyday lives? We're considering, how you move through your home, how your spaces connect, how your storage functions within your home, how lighting affects the way you use a room, and how all of those decisions interact with each other. That's what a designer is doing. And you don't need to ask me, because to me, and if you're a homeowner coming to me, that's priceless. If you had no idea what to do as a homeowner, that you can't put a price tag on that. So here's an example. I often tell people this. A renovation mistake is rarely expensive because of the item itself. It's expensive because of the timing. I've seen homeowners replace kitchens that were 12 months, 18 months old, not because your joinery failed or your cabinetry, because the layout failed. The fridge door couldn't fully open. The dishwasher blocked the walkways and the thoroughfares. The pantry was far too far from the preparation area. The storage didn't match how the family actually lived in that space. The joinery was beautiful, don't get me wrong, but the planning simply wasn't. And it's fixing those mistakes later that costs significantly more than actually solving the problem before your construction begins. So I'll say that again. Fixing all those mistakes later will cost 10 times more than engaging a designer to solve them before your construction begins. Now, this is where good design delivers value, right? So It's not by making things prettier. It's not by helping you avoid expensive regrets. It's by solving the problems before you know about them, before construction even begins. That is what good design delivers. It delivers value. So why do fees increase as projects get bigger? Very valid question. Very, very valid question. So let's compare two projects. Project 1 is just a kitchen renovation. Project 2 is a full home renovation. So we're talking like new kitchen, bathrooms, laundry, flooring, lighting, joinery, furniture, window treatments, builder coordination, the works. Now, the second project isn't just twice as complicated as the simple kitchen reno. It's often many, many, many more times complicated. So in the project 2 with the full home reno, every decision that is made will impact another decision. Every trade will require coordination. Every mistake becomes more expensive. So as projects become larger, the level of responsibility carried by the designer increases tenfold. It increases dramatically. And that's one of the reasons design fees increase too. So I just want you to put that in the back of the mind and remember that when you're having these conversations. So what does this look like in real life when you're talking to a designer? So of course, every designer structures their fees differently. No one designer will ever structure their fees the same unless they're copying another designer, which you just don't do. So some designers will charge fixed fees. Some will charge hourly rates. Some charge a percentage of the total project, right? But as a general guide, fees typically increase as the scope, complexity, and level of involvement increases. And that's natural with any kind of industry or service that is being performed. A design consultation may range from a few $100s to around $1,500. A simple room design may range from a few $1,000s upwards, depending on what's included. So that's just for one room. A kitchen design is often several $1,000s because of the level of planning involved. Now, good designers won't take as long to work through a kitchen design because they've done it so many times, but it doesn't mean that the level of planning doesn't stay the same. They can just do it quicker because they're skilled, they do it regularly. A full home renovation or new build can move into the tens of thousands of dollars, particularly when detailed documentation, selections, site visits, and construction support are included. So tens of thousands of dollars. This is where many homeowners get caught out, right? They're comparing fees without comparing scope. Now, that's a lot involved in a full home renovation. Detailed documentation, selections, site visits, construction support. That is a lot, and that's so much work for a designer. So again, this is where many homeowners get caught out. You're comparing fees without comparing the scope. So one quote you get may include concept design only. Another may include months of planning, detailed documentation, coordination, ongoing support throughout construction. The fees will look vastly different because the services being delivered in those quotes are vastly different. You need to understand exactly the scope when you're getting your quotes, so you're getting apples for apples. So what a good designer should save you from. So when homeowners ask me whether a design fee is worth it, it's the wrong question to ask. The better question is, what mistakes could this process help me avoid? That is a better question. What mistakes could engaging you help me avoid? Some of those things are poor layouts, insufficient storage, bad lighting, PowerPoints in the wrong location, appliances that don't function properly together, cabinetry that looks great but just simply doesn't work. Now, these are the frustrations people live with every single day, and these can be incredibly expensive to rectify later. But the best designers out there don't just create beautiful spaces, they identify problems before they become expensive mistakes. I'll say that again. The best designers don't just create beautiful spaces, they identify problems before they become expensive mistakes. So, how to judge a design fee? Instead of asking, why are you so expensive? Flip it a little bit and try asking, what level of service am I receiving? How much planning is included? How much documentation is included in your service? Will you help during the construction phase? How much experience do you have? How much risk are you helping me remove from this whole process? How involved will you be throughout the process? There are some key questions to ask your designer, because the cheapest fee isn't always the best value. And that's with anything in life, right? The cheapest fee isn't always the best value. I'm a big believer of you get what you pay for. And the most expensive fee isn't automatically the best either. So it's vice versa. The goal of hiring a designer or finding one is finding someone whose experience, whose processes, whose level of service matches the complexity of your project. Because again, great design isn't about choosing beautiful finishes. It's about making thousands of decisions correctly before construction begins. And that's often where the real value lies. Let me know if you love this video and if you want to see more of this stuff. Reach out to me on Instagram, email me if you're looking to work together, if you've got a project, and I'll be more than happy to help. But thank you for watching.